Okay, vivid sunset glow, 2 notches down in darkness, and I'm just gonna the car about 2:30, take a wander, check the colour on the, seems to be alright. Now we're getting into these days now where we get this lovely gorgeous sunlight as we get past the Ides of March, all the way through to the 3rd week of May basically, and that's when the prey failures get to their peak. So from now on we'll have this sort of glorious sunlight that everyone flies in for, a bit like the Venice light they call it. People fly in from all over the world. Now I could go that way. Oh, looks like there might be a bushfire. Oh yes. I better get home and check the. I'll just do this and then I better go home and check the website. But today's rather special because the our so-called Prime Minister turned bullshit, went off to the Governor-General, the GG, and prosecuted the case with the GG to recall Parliament for 3 weeks, starting on, I think it's April the 3rd, for a marathon session, and the budget's been called for, I think it's the 2nd of May, could be the 3rd of May. It's all pretty up in the air at the moment. And yeah, isn't that, I was just thinking, when does the Blu-ray, the Star Wars Blu-ray come out? Is that the 3rd or the 4th of April? So yeah, you might just want to take a quick look in here without going in too far. Everything's dormant, of course, and there's the, you can see if we can get the true to life colour on the moss. But that's where all those witty guys usually are. Oh, okay. Two dogs, not rhubarb, but 2 dogs. Okay. Now we normally go down here and there, so it'd be a good check on the magenta on that lady's t-shirt. See when I'm holding the camera up, it's been like 7.5 months on, barely 5 months. Sorry, 7.5 months off, barely 5 months on. Now we normally get in there, but I'm going to take you through here, which I don't think we got to last year, because it's all dry of course, and the season hasn't really started yet. But what I want to show you is what they've done to the GLIDLINE. They've started doing a whole load of work to put in, presumably, some lighting. Now whether that's going to cause problems with the kangaroos and our Minko or Mega Beast, I don't know. Colour check on the Eucalypts, which are starting to get longer now, and they'll get even longer as we get into the so-called, in quotes, autumn, or extended autumn here. It'll be about 2 months long, you know. So we'll have this lovely sunlight for about 2 months, and then we'll go into the 3rd week of May, and that's when the prey failures get to their peak. And then in the 2nd week of June, that's when the wittigrides will be at their peak. Colour check on the pine needles, which are dry at the moment, so on and so forth. But yeah, that's the topic of the day. It's all on the TV, and it's going on all afternoon, and it's a bit of almost like a dirty tricks campaign in a way. It seems like that way. It's like, oh, I know the Constitution better than anyone else, sort of thing. But this is so-called Mr. Broadband, the person who almost single-handedly invented the internet. Well, maybe in Australia, I don't know. It's a bit of a far-fetched claim, but anyway. And the mun trees there. They look really nice when they're in flower, so we'll probably hone in on that later on in the season. When we go to we're going to go to 4K hopefully. That's why I'm getting all these colour checks just right. So hopefully I'll flip over in the car, filming outside the car. And there's been a few developments in using potting mixes and things like that. So it's getting rather interesting. So we're like cutting up the fly trap problem from both ends now. But it is very frustrating when you see things online and things you can buy in America you can't buy here, or when you buy them here, they're almost like adulterated. You know, they call it like a base fertilizer, and it's got 5% of the active ingredient that you want in there. And I'm thinking, well, that's not what the Egyptians would call a base. I think that's where the term base comes from, the base of the pyramid, isn't it? But yeah, so am I swinging it too fast? But I am on, the long shutter is off now. I tend to like the manual shutter for some reason. I'm assuming it is all electronic. It's just it's an electronic version of what you get with a manual shutter. But and also I've worked out the AFF stands for autofocus fast, and the other one is autofocus slow. And I tend to like a faster autofocus. That seems to be some of the problems I was having before. But we're catching this all like light. Hopefully we're getting it right, and so on and so forth. And we'll just walk down here, and at 20 minutes after 8 minutes here I'll start a new clip, and we'll try something else. Well, I'm wanting to try out is going from oh, I've got this zoom on. Now if I go to focus now, I've got AFF and also manual shutter. Do we get a different response? That's what I want to try, and maybe it would be worth actually trying it here because I've got something to focus in on. So okay, we might do that just here. Okay, over and out for now.